Hello, Tim from Fairplay now on the 5th of October 2023. So, just totally randomly, I came across this photo of my lovely wife Lorraine, and the occasion, we were out for a lovely dinner or lunch, should I say, at a pretty posh local hotel here. The occasion being, it was on that particular day her 50th birthday. Now, we would have liked to have gone away somewhere further afield, but the picture happens to have been taken in December of 2020. Now, do you remember that little window of relative normalcy between the second and third lockdowns? The second lockdown ended somewhere around about the 4th or 5th of December 2020, and the third one came in just after Christmas of 2020. And that was when they were doing, do you remember those stupid tier things where some places were only in tier 2 and some places were in tier 3, which was almost total lockdown, and other places were in tier 4, whatever it was, which was kind of total lockdown. Well, some places, by the time we were out for that lunch, were already in tier 4 or whatever, almost complete lockdown. And we were at that point sort of relatively free, if you want to call it that. We were able to go up to that restaurant, but literally within days, we in this area as well were in sort of tier 4 or whatever. And then almost as soon as we got into the new year, full lockdown came nationwide. What a stupid thing that was. All these tiers, it's ridiculous where you could be on one side of the street, the lurgy wasn't nearly as rife as it was on the other side of the street, where because the boundary happened to sort of go down right down the middle of some streets, didn't they? These boundaries, and you could be living on the one street and the lurgy wouldn't be nearly as deadly on that side, and you'd be in tier 2, and then on the other side of the street, obviously the lurgy was way more deadly over that side, and so they would have been in tier 3 or 4. So an absolutely ridiculous concept. And just going back to that picture of Lorraine, it just makes me feel so sad, Yes, she looks happy in the photo, and we did have a enjoyable lunch out. It was a nice lunch. I think we had a nice steak dinner, as I recall there, and it was happy, but it was bittersweet. We knew what was coming, and when I saw that picture just randomly, I think I came across it last night and saw it again today, obviously, and it just bittersweet, really fills me with sadness. And I just want to make, I suppose, a little poignant video like this, just to make sure this absolute rubbish never ever happens again. I do not want to see another lockdown happen ever again. And it's not just because people like me were being unable or not allowed to go out for restaurant dinners and lunches. It was so much more damaging than that. People's mental health was shot to pieces. The economy was shot to pieces. We're still paying the price now. Never mind all the kind of lockdown suicides that happened back then during the lockdowns. And I personally came across 2 people who knew of people who committed suicides because of the lockdowns, and which is more than I came across people who knew people who had passed away from the lurgy, I might add. So in my personal sort of sphere, I had heard of more people committing lockdown suicides than I heard of people actually passing away from that thing. So anyone who thinks that lockdowns should be held in reserve, that they're a good idea, that they work, that they prevent deaths, are just absolutely off their rockers as far as I'm concerned. And these horrible things must never, ever, ever be allowed to happen again. And if they do dare to try and bring anything like that back, I will be pushing back against it hard as anything. We've got our networks now, us people in the Truth and Freedom movement, we've got our networks, we've got our support groups, and yeah, we've even got places to go. If they did bring in a lockdown, we would be able to sort of go to awake places who have vowed to stay open. So another lockdown will not work. There's thousands or millions of people up and down the country who will make sure that it will never work again, and I will be one of them. I will be there on the streets protesting against the lockdown if it comes in, and if, you know, the army and the police or whoever come out and start opening fire on the protesting crowds and I get hit, well, that's a price I'm willing to pay, to be quite honest with you. I'd rather that happen than suffer continual lockdowns, because if another one ever comes back, they will just keep coming back time and time again. They'll just be part of our future, our dystopian future. So I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to keep making videos like this periodically to remind people what an evil thing they are. So that's my piece on that. Thought I'd just make this little video, and yeah, we must never allow that travesty to ever happen again. So, as you know, yesterday I was interviewing Richard Vobes, and then he interviewed me. I don't know if you've seen that video of me talking on his sort of channel. If not, I'll leave a link to it in the description box below here, so you can go and check that out. Also, there'll be another link to a little tour that he gave me of his house when I went there. That was really great, and yeah, he's got a very nice sort of little house there, and it is, you know, beautiful it was, and very generous of him to show me around as well. And then I did quite a big interview with him, sort of 1.5 hour interview, so he really opened up, and I think gave me a lot of information that he probably hasn't shared sort of before anywhere. So I think you'll be you know, if you like Richard, you're a fan of his, I think you'll find the video, the interview, very, very interesting. It will be out at 7 p.m. tonight, so just after this video goes up. Be on the lookout for that, and yeah, I think your eyes will be opened very much by him. And especially if you're one of these people who aren't quite so sure about him, you might think he's a controlled opposition or whatever. Well, having spent 5 hours in his company and doing this in-depth interview, I'm going to say that he's not controlled opposition. He's really, what you see is what you get with him. He just seems like a very genuine guy who cares about the freedom movement and all of these issues we face, and wants to do his bit to make sure we fight against them, and you know, and make sure this dystopian future never comes in. So am I a 100% fantastic judge of character? Do I know that 100% for sure? No, but you go on your gut instincts, don't you? And I can tell a wrong 'un a lot of the time from genuine people, and Richard is a genuine guy as far as I saw. And you know, I spent 5 hours yesterday in his company, and you know, that's a good amount of time to be talking to someone. You find out a lot, and yeah, I am sort of going to say on this channel that he's not controlled opposition. So if you don't believe me, go and look at this video, this 1.5 hour in-depth video, and see what you think. But I think he, like me, you'll find him to be genuine. So I'll let you go and do that, and I'll be back soon. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.